Everyone, this is Amy, and I just emailed out to the Tulsa Epic team a link to an 8th grade spectrum reading workbook that I've made to where you can actually type on it. This is just a video to show you kind of how to do that with this, how you could use it for a student in case they don't have the money in their learning fund for the workbooks or they're having to print things off. I'm slowly trying to do it, so I can't guarantee everyone when all of them will be done. But basically, when you open that link, if you will just save that in your drive, what you're going to want to do is open up a folder, maybe a Spectrum folder for all of your students and share that with them. And you're going to drop in all of their workbooks that they might use. And so, and once they do that and you already have the Spectrum folder set up, so this is kind of my pretend student Spectrum folder. So I'm going to pretend this is one of my students and I have put that link and I put that workbook in a folder for them and they've just opened that up. Now, if any of your kids have used my high school history page, you'll see that you open all of these type documents in DocHub. And I will also send you the link on how to add DocHub and for your students in case they need that. It's also on the high school history page on all of the courses under the resource page. There is a video showing students how to do this if you need to have them watch that. But once they have DocHub or you have DocHub on your computer, when they open this workbook, if they do it in DocHub, it's going to make it to where they can actually type directly on the workbook. Now, on the high school history page, I extracted things as individual assignments, but that takes hours upon hours on a large workbook. And so what I did is I just made this the entire workbook. So what I'm going to do is show you how to use this to where basically you will have a saved version of everything they've typed on their workbook. So now that it's open in DocHub, and again, I'm the student right now, I'm going to go down to the pages that have been assigned to me to work on. And I'm just going to look at those pages. Like I said, this is the whole workbook. But this way you can also grade things and students will never have to send you pictures or actually bring you the workbook. So I'm going to pretend here's the version of the story I'm reading. And so I'm going to pretend that I've read that, which I haven't. So you can see everywhere that there is a line you can type on it. I'll tell you I did this quickly. And so like right here, there's not actually anything that they need to type there. So right here would be the first question. So we're just going to pretend like the student has typed their answers. Again, we're just going to type some things in here. And so we're going to say they're done. Okay, what they're going to want to do is come up here and download the workbook. Because this is saved and it's 164 pages, I don't recommend you using the computer version. In the free DocHub, you're only allowed 3 emails and you don't want to do a 164 page workbook. What you want to do is use your Google Drive. So we're going to hit Google Drive. Now the important thing they do is always update existing with new version. So this way, every time they open up their workbook, what they've previously done is still there. And then what they've just completed today is going to be added. So this is the default setting. So you want to make sure that they always do that, because if they create a new copy, everything they've done so far is going to be erased. Okay. So we just want to always make sure that we're using to update existing. And so when they add this to their Google Drive, it will go directly back to the shared folder that you've already created with them. So I hit open in Google Drive. So again, we're pretending I'm the student. So now here's the version I have. So when I open that now, again, I need to open it under DocHub. I always want to use existing version because again, that has everything I've already done on there. If they accidentally do create a duplicate, all that's going to happen is they're going to lose everything they've typed on, and the worst case is maybe the things they've done that week that you haven't graded or looked at yet might disappear. But again, so you have the full working workbook with them, they want to use existing workbook. And so if like day 2 and they're going back to work on their spectrum pages, Here's the story that they read yesterday. And here are my fabulous answers. So right now, everything that they did is saved. All they have to do is go back down to the next story that they're working on and do the same thing for the next story. They can also go back and edit things, like if there's questions that they missed the day before, they can go back to the day before and change some of those answers, add extra detail if you want them to. Again, here's the next workbook page, so they just type some answers on there. And again, you go back up here, again, hit Google Drive, update existing version, and hit save. And now the version that they have in their folder, they still just have one copy, but it shows everything that they've done so far. So that way you can go into their workbook and you can do their grading from there. Now I will tell you on the link I sent you, it did have the answers at the bottom because I know that's how it was put on the website. And so if you want to take those off where they don't have the answer keys, that's something that you can do. But I just left it the exact same way that the teachers posted it on their website. So if they wanted students to have the answers and parents to have the answers, that whatever was down there is still there. So this way, this is a version in case you have students who have handwriting issues or anxiety with that, they can't afford to buy the Spectrum workbooks or you're having to print things off. This is kind of an alternative for that. So like I said, um, I'm starting with 8th grade and kind of working down because I know our older students will be a little bit more familiar with having to use the technology, and the younger students, this may not be something that they want because it may be hard for a first grader to type. But if you do have a large group of students that you're having to do a lot of printing for, if you'll email me, I'll try to start with the workbooks that we're having the most issues with as far as people not being able to afford or having to do teachers doing a lot of copying or students having to do a lot of printing. So if I don't hear from anyone, I'll probably just still keep working on the 8th grade and then go down to 7th. It does take a little while, so I can't guarantee you when those will be done, but I am slowly working on them. So again, this is Amy Napier. So email me if you have any questions.